Hello, this is the Mega Construx Warrior Series of figures that come in the blind bag packaging, one each. They don't tell you what's inside, but you can look at the code on the back. Warrior Series has a red theme to it, like Challenger Series had a green theme. Let's go ahead and look at these one by one. Hey, I finally give the Ungoy the respect they think they deserve by putting one up first. Now this one does not have truly a red color scheme for its armor. It's kind of a plum color, has a lot of blue mixed in there, very metallic. No special paint applications for this one, just has the eyes, two of them, and the teeth, and nothing else as far as paint applications are concerned. The plasma pistol fits in the hand of this one perfectly fine, and it can be twisted from side to side, so you can get lots of different angles with it depending upon where you want to point that thing, including coming right out the hand like that, or having it pointing straight at you, which is a pretty realistic look for the thing. The mold is, the same set of molds that you've seen up to this point, but it looks good to me. Super articulated, of course, the more modern version of these guys. No elbow articulation there, but he does have rotating feet and the two joints in the arm, and also the ball joint down here also has waist articulation for the whole thing, so this one's pretty good. The Marine is a common figure in this series. I forgot to mention that the Grunt is also a common figure. This one looks like it would work in the context of Halo 5 Warzone, although I personally would take some of the red out of it. It uses a speckled pattern, a little bit of metallic flake in there, a little bit of darker color, a little bit of lighter color to kind of make it a little less consistent. It's got the very bright silver colored assault rifle, the most recent version of that, and he's got the ammo pouch, or just pouch in general, on the right leg. And yeah, nothing new in terms of molds or anything, just a new color scheme. And I think Marines are always good to get because they're very massable. The Elite Zealot is another common figure in this series and uses the exact same plastic mix for the red as did the Marine. There's nothing really innovative here. He does have the paint application on the helmet with the cross pattern there that's done in a nice yellow. It's fairly opaque, doesn't let too much of the red show through, so it does show up pretty well. It's got a storm rifle which does not have a secondary paint application on it, or doesn't have any paint application at all, just all done up in one color. We've gotten a ton of those by now, fairly common color overall, and there's nothing really special to see about this one. Nowadays they are consistently using the smaller hole size for all of the Elite heads, so rather than having the huge gaping hole when you remove the helmet, you just have a small one, which is a lot easier to deal with, a lot easier to tolerate on the eyes. To actually display one of these guys like that, it's just a little bit tougher to line it up, but it works perfectly fine. The Recruit Armored Spartan is common and does not use the same color of plastics as the Marine did and the Zealot. This one's just a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit more of a scarlet in comparison. Still uses a mix though with some speckles of different colors in there. Just a little bit less contrasty, I think, with the speckles somehow. I don't know, I think it's just that the light bits don't show up as much, and there seems to be less of the light bits. That'll probably change from batch to batch. Ironically, the 343 era Recruit armor set remains one of my favorite, even though it's it's the default from Halo 4, right? It's the one that you try to get rid of as quickly as you can to shed the noob kind of look, but I still think that it looks really good. I think it's one of the better original designs. Comes with the bright silver colored tactical shotgun there, which does not look good to me. Just that color doesn't work well with the shotgun at all. It desperately needs some darkness in there, but it's just another collectible one color thing. And Mega Construx does a very good job with the visor for the Recruit helmet, and I think they have since their first one. Now this to me is something special. It's Halo 3 Mark 6 armor, or Gen 1 Mark 6 armor as Mega officially calls it. And that's something I've been looking forward to for quite a long time. I look forward to tons of color variants of this being made. I think the silver is really nice to kind of start the series of figures to come with this mold set. I think it really stands out. I don't particularly like the visor on this one. It just looks too much like plastic. I wish it had been done a little bit metallic instead. Also, the needler in such a bright red color. That's the base red color that you saw on the Recon Spartan, but without any speckles mixed into it. And that just looks like a prototype, like a plastic, feel testing, kind of ergonomic testing dummy. It just lets too much light through it to be believable to me. Still the same mold that we're used to, but just kind of looks like a placeholder to me, unfortunately, with such a bright color. Great mold set for this armor, though. I think that the bright silver actually won't be the best looking in this series. I think that some of the darker ones and ones that mix together multiple colors will do better justice to this set of parts. But I'm just happy that this is now in the rotation and that we will be getting more colors of it for certain. This is good stuff, Halo 3. Now we get into the rare figures. This is a Promethean soldier with a kind of medium dark silver, medium, it's not really gunmetal, is it? It's like a slightly metallic gray color, but it's almost bluish. I think it may be just ever so slightly bluish, but he's got the red accent color. Now he uses the fully transparent red shoulder forward ball pieces. The forward half, the front half, is done in that transparent red, and then the other red elements on the body are painted on. The paint applications are really good on this one. They chose a good mix of red paint that stands out even against the black where it's printed on the sides of the body there. That's not an easy thing to do, but they did a perfect job of it, to get that brightness to really show through, even though it's probably just a single application. That's just good material work there. Also has the paint application on either shin at the lower part of it, and there are paint applications on the back of the body. At first, when I started to look at this, I thought they were mistakes, or I thought I was looking at a mistake on one side. If you look just up in there a little bit, but then there's one on the other side as well. It's not done perfectly, but I'm pretty certain that those were put there intentionally. So nice job with the paint applications. That one on the right has a little bit of mistake on it, but you can always easily scratch off the little bit of extra there, but I appreciate them being there. And then he has this bolt shot, which is in completely transparent red. It's nice and crystalline. That's actually the exact same color that's used for the shoulder joint halves, so it fits in with the color scheme, even though it's not realistic. You would expect in-game for this guy to use a bolt shot that is the same color as him, uses the same color scheme. This guy has the red light color, hard light or whatever color, so you would expect to see just the red highlights in the weapon. But this for me works because it is close enough. I mean, it is using the exact same color. You tend to see more light coming through this because it's not covered up like the shoulders are, but it really fits in with the color scheme. It just seems like it's energized to me. You don't see a mix of transparent and non-transparent stuff from Mega very frequently, but I think this is tastefully done. The other rare figure in this series is, don't call him a flame marine or you yourself will get flamed. He's a Hellbringer. Since we're in the Halo Wars 2 era, or if you want to set up a Halo Wars original or remastered definitive edition diorama or something, then you can call him a flame marine if you like. It's all the same. It's all good. I love these things. I'm terribly biased towards them. I loved the original ones, and the super articulated versions are just over the top for me. All of them. Another good color scheme. Stands out from the others without being just too bright. It's easy to come up with a new color scheme for these guys. Just change out all the parts in one of the colors. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely biased towards these. I think they all look good. I think even the bright silver color for the weapon here looks good. The nozzle has enough depth in the mold that you can see enough detail in it. And as long as light isn't just coming straight onto it from one single source, you see nice depth, you see contrast. So That's good. That's well done. And he's got the tank on the back, which doesn't look as good to me. That one doesn't quite have the crispness of the nozzle. You know, no part of it really does, in my opinion, even around the, I guess that's supposed to be the filler cap there, but look at the detail on the back of the helmet. I mean, you've seen these before. You've seen this figure in general. This is just another color scheme for it, and it's another one that I think is pretty successful. This is also not a pure red under there. It has just a little bit of bluishness, just a little bit of magenta tinge to it. This ultra rare gummy candy edition of Atriox, on the other hand, has no tinge whatsoever. This is just pure red, transparent red through and through. All of it, the whole thing, it's as you would expect for one of these gummy candy figures. It uses the exact same mold set as the Halo Heroes version of him. If you look carefully, it lets you see the detail that they got into the face, which is actually pretty impressive, especially for this scale, and especially when you consider that that headpiece is in a softer material. You know, it's a flexible material so that it gets good friction on the ball joint there. It doesn't crack if you pop it off, put it back on. Comes with his weapon, what's that called? The chain breaker, I think. And as has always been the case with these transparent figures, the hard plastic parts are slightly yellow of the softer pieces. So I guess there is some tinge involved after all. But it's just a very slight difference. And on this red, and especially with as many parts as are here, it doesn't stand out like it has on some of the figures in the past. It's just really not an issue to me at all. And this does not feel to me like a figure that was made into a transparent color just to have a transparent color figure in the line. This makes sense for Atriox in particular. This just embodies that red plasma energy of the brutes that we were first introduced to in Halo 2 with the brute, you know, plasma rifle, the brute captains with their banners that they would have on their shoulders and everything. Just, you know, started to introduce and attach that red, bright, glowing color to the brutes. They've continued that in Halo Wars 2 as well with the Banished, and this just embodies that fully, just goes all the way with it. I think it makes sense, and I think this is a more collectible, more desirable gummy style character than most of them. This to me feels like a pretty strong series. I think that the relatively consistent color scheme takes a little bit away from it just when you look at the entire series together. It makes the individual figures stand out less than they would if they were all different colors. But there's a lot of stuff here that I especially like Atriox, and of course the introduction of the Halo 3 Mark VI Spartan. I think the Promethean Soldier was done particularly well. Nothing here is really done poorly to me. I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to go with the Marine as my least favorite out of this bunch. I feel like he would have been better with a less red vest. If they had just put in a little bit of red, or possibly even swapped that out and left everything else the same. My top three, personally in no particular order, are Atriox and the Halo 3 Spartan and the Hellbringer, but the Promethean Soldier is actually up there pretty high, and none of these are, like I said, to me are bad. But I look forward to hearing what you all think. What are your favorites, and is there anyone, or are there any figures in this series that you find to be particularly weak, or just that don't kind of stand up to the bar set by the rest? So let me know your thoughts, share what you think with myself and the other viewers by leaving a comment down below, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.
You ever serve on a space-time ship all out in space? I was on one for years, but can't ever remember the name. I mean, how come we got such complicated ship time names? Every time you make intel in a battle, the ship's probably blowed up before you finish, like, "Sir, they're firing missiles, choo-choo-choo-choo, into CSS Pinnacle with shadowy gumption and up. Too late, it's exploded. Don't worry, here comes the unyielding double caduceus, and oh man, never mind. Gotta give ships littler names like Mert or Flip or Bob. That's way safer.